The 53rd regular session of the 13th Sangguniang Panglungsod is now called to order.
Prayer.
Prayer.
Sa ngalan ng Ama, ng Anak, ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. Mahal na Panginoon, sa pagtatalakayan namin sa kapulungang ito, bigyan niyo kami ng talino upang mapaglabanan ang simboyo ng aming damdamin. Bigyan niyo kami ng mapag-unawang puso na walang kinikilingan. Bigyan niyo kami ng malawak na pananaw upang mabatid ang anumang nakabalangkas para sa hinaharap. Bigyan niyo kami ng tatag at lakas ng loob sa pagtuklas ng katotohanan at kabutihan. Bigyan niyo kami ng kakayahan sa pananalita na maaari kaming maunawaan. At higit sa lahat, Panginoon, gawin niyo kaming karapat-dapat na lingkod bayan ng lungsod na labis naming minamahal at iginagalang ang lungsod ng Naga, ang puso ng Bicol. Siya nawa.
Pambansang awit.
Alab ng puso, sa libig mo'y buhay, lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng makiting, sa manluluki, di ka pasisiin, sa dagat at puno, sa simoy at sa langit mo'y bukaw, may latang tula, awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang istak ng watawat mo'y tago, nalamininig, ang bituin at araw na kailan may di magdidilig, lupa ng araw ng walang hatid pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang ligaya ng pag may mang-awit, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Magandang araw sa ating lahat. Ang susunod na tatalakayin,
Privilege.
sir.
Privilege time.
sino ang gustong mag-avail ng privilege time? Honorable Elmer Baltimoro.
Maraming salamat po, Tagapangulo ng Hapag, ang ating pangalawang punong lungsod, Ginagalang Cecilia Velos de Asis, mga ginagalang nakasangguni, mga panauhin galing sa kagawaran ng edukasyon, mga mamahayag na ngayon nandirito sa bulwagan ng Sangguniang Panglungsod, mga kapwa ko kawani ng pamahalaan, mga minamahal kong kababayan, mga binibinit, mga Ginoo, makabayang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Sa buwan pong ito, ang buwan ng Agosto, ay ating muling ipinagdiriwang ang taunang buwan ng wikang pambansa. Ito ay alinsunod sa itinakdang pampangulang proklamasyon bilang 1041, serye 1977, na idiniklara ng ating dating Pangulong Fidel B. Ramos. At hindi nalingid sa atin na itinilaga ng nasabing proklamasyon ang Agosto bilang buwan ng wika upang bigyang pugay ang dating Pangulong Manuel Luis Quezon, ang itinuturing na ama ng wikang pambansa, na isinilang noong ika-19 ng Agosto taong 1878. Pangunahing layunin ng pagdiriwang ay ang maitaas ang kamalahayang pangwika at sibiko at maganyak ang mga mamamayang Pilipino na pahalagahan ang wikang pambansa sa pamamagitan ng aktibong pakikilahok sa mga gawain kaugnay ng buwan ng wikang pambansa. Marahil ang pagdiriwang ng buwan ng wika ngayong taon ay hindi ganap ng mapagtutuunan ng pansin dahil sa kinakaharap na problema ng ating bansa, dala ng pandemyang COVID-19. Sa loob ng 5 buwan, sarado ang mga paaralan na siyang pangunahing dausan ng mga pagdiriwang na kaakibat ng buwan ng wika. Ang atensyon ng marami ay nakatuon sa pagpapanatili ng malakas na pangangatawan at malinis na kapaligiran upang makaiwas sa COVID-19. Mas nakatuon ang pansin ng pamahalaan ng bawat Pilipino sa paglaban sa sakit na pumipinsala hindi lamang sa kalusugan, kundi pati sa kabuhayan na nakakarami nating kababayan. Sa pangunguna ng Komisyon ng Wika, ang ahensya ng pamahalaan na nangangasiwa at nagtataguyod ng kahalagahan ng ating wikang pambansa, ating binibigyang pansin ngayong buwan ng Agosto ang temang wika ng kasaysayan, kasaysayan ng wika, ang mga katutubong wika sa makapilipinong bayanihan kontra pandemya. Ating himay-himayin ang tema upang maipaabot sa lahat ang kahulugan nito. Una, ang wika ng kasaysayan, kasaysayan ng wika, sumap sa ilalim sa malalim na pinanggagalingan ng ating wika. Pinapaalala nito sa mga Pilipino ang pagpapalaganap ng kahalagahan at kasaysayan ng ating wikang pambansa at kung bakit mahalaga na gunitain ito taon-taon. Pangalawa, ang mga katutubong wika sumisimbolo sa mahigit 175 lingwahe at dialektong mayroon ang Pilipinas. Upang mas magkaunawaan ang mga nasa lalawigan, probinsya at rehiyon, isang malaking kahalagahan ang pagsasalita sa kinagisnan na wika o mother tongue. At pangatlo, ang makapilipinong bayanihan kontra pandemya. Ano ba ang naiambag ng ating wika sa ating kinakaharap na sitwasyon? Paano nagkakaroon ng makapilipinong bayanihan gamit lamang ang wika? Ang sagot ay nakasalalay sa isang salita, ang pagsalin. Napakalaki ng ambag ng wika sa pagpapalaganap ng kaalaman patungkol sa COVID-19. Sa pagputok ng balita tungkol sa virus, nagpapalabas ang Kagawaran ng Kalusugan o DOH sa publiko ng mga health advisories sa pamamagitan ng mga infographics, charts at video presentation sa wikang Ingles. Sa tulong ng mga individual at institusyon, katulad ng Universidad ng Pilipinas, naging posible ang pagsalin ng mga paunawa, babala at datos hinggil sa COVID-19. Mayroon din nagsalin sa lokal na dialekto kung kaya mas naiintindihan ng mas nakakaraming Pilipino ang nakapaskil sa kanilang mga barangay at munisipyo. Sa lungsod ng Naga, mas pinalawak ang mga kaalaman patungkol sa pandemya sa paggamit ng social media. At ang mga kaalaman ay nakasalin sa Bicol upang mas higit na maunawaan hindi lamang ng mga Nagenyo, pati na rin ng ibang mga Bicolano. Ang wika ng isang bansa ay masabing siyang kaluluwa na nagbibigay buhay dito. Ito ang nagsisilbing tulay na nagdurugtong sa mga komunidad na naninirahan sa isang bansa. Sa pamamagitan ng wika, nagkakaunawaan at nagkakaisa ang bawat tao. Maging kasangkapan sana ang wika sa patuloy na paghatid ng mga kaalaman na magbibigay kapakinabangan sa bawat Pilipino, lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya. Sa muli, maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang wikang Pilipino, mabuhay ang bansang labis nating minamahal.
Maraming salamat, kagalang-galang na Honorable Elmer Baldimoro. Bago po tayo tumuloy sa ating mga tatalakayin, gusto kong magpasalamat sa presensya ng ating pong Schools Division Superintendent ng DepEd, si Dr. Mariano de Guzman, si Dr. Renato Gavino, ang Chief ng SGOD, si Ma'am Maria Sheila Laguda, OIC-CIO Chief, at andito po si Sueño Lozada, ang ating pong Assistant Schools, wala po. At sa iba pa pong mga DepEd Naga City teachers, Belen Lorcha, Corazon Fatima Cilirio, and Mary Ann Papica. Acknowledging the presence of Honorable Miles Rakid Arroyo. Next, sa susunod na pagtatalakayan,
Reading and approval of the order of business.
Honorable, bago yan, ang ating pong ginagalangan na Consyal Mila S. Rakid Arroyo.
Yes, maraming salamat, galang-galang na taga-Pangulo. Meron po sana akong nais na ihatag bilang pribilehiyong pananalita. Subalit, upang hindi na po tayo masyadong mag-aksaya ng panahon, nais ko na lamang imungkahi ang suheto ng aking pananalitang pampribilehyo sa paghatag ng ating tatalakayin ngayong umaga. So, mamaya na lamang po, kagalang-galang na taga-Pangulo.
Maraming salamat, Honorable Miles Rakid Arroyo. Honorable Elmer Baldemoro.
Maraming salamat po, Tagapangulo. Akin pong minumungkahi na wag nang basahin ang pasunod-sunod na may mga karagdagan. Item number 2, on the special business or order, a letter from the City Mayor marked as urgent, requesting for an authority to negotiate with Mr. Antonio Mirillas Jr., a landowner in Yabu, Carolina, to acquire 10,000 square meter portion of his property to be used as the site of Yabu Elementary School. Item number 3, a letter from the city engineer with a note from the city mayor requesting for an authority regarding the memorandum of agreement between the city government of Naga and the Metropolitan Water District pertaining to the interconnection of the water line at Palmera Village resettlement site, Sitio Salonggigi, Barangay Kararayan. Under unfinished business, item number 7, letter from the city budget officer submitting the summary of supplemental budget number 1, indicating the corresponding ordinances for each item appropriation. Item number 8, letter from the residents of Barangay San Francisco pertaining to their request of resettlement. Item number 9, letter from Hawaii Technology Philippines Incorporated pertaining to the construction of installation of telecommunication facilities. Item number 10 is the proposed ordinance codifying the policies and programs of the City of Naga on persons with disabilities. Item number 11, the committee report of the Joint Committee of Appropriation and Manpower and Livelihood. Item number 11A is the proposed ordinance reverting the amount of 50,400 pesos to be taken from training and seminar expenses of the Naga City Health Board and appropriating the same for the honoraria of the members and secretary of the said board, sponsored by the Honorable Jose Ranyola. Item number 12 is the committee report of the Committee on Investment, Trade, Industry, and Economic Enterprise. Item number 12A, attached to the committee report, is the proposed ordinance establishing the Naga City Business Stimulus Program and setting aside funds for the purpose. Under new business, item number 2 is a letter from the city mayor requesting for passage of an ordinance reverting the unappropriated balance, the amount of 20 million, and appropriating the same for the city's economic stimulus package. Item number 3, letter from Mr. Ileray Imperial requesting for the renewal of Trimobile franchise. Item number 4 of the new business, letter from Mr. Dick Nicholson D. Tiklo requesting for requesting to be allowed to pay only one half of their stipulated monthly rental for the city government of Naga. Item number 5, letter from Primus Hotel Incorporated requesting for exemption of wine pairing with food at a restaurant. Under other matters, item number 1 is the letter from the city accountant pertaining to the aid to indigent in crisis situation. I so move, Madam Chair.
And a second, before the approval, Honorable Miles Sakit Arroyo. Comment?
Upang maimbita sa susunod nating pagpupulong ang management or ang pamunuan ng Converge. Ang Converge ay isang public utility, nagbibigay ng serbisyong internet at cable TV. Palagi pong sumasama ang aking loob at nagiinit ang aking ulo sa tuwing madadaan po ako sa kanilang tanggapan sa Magsaysay na napakaraming mga taong nakapila upang magbayad ng kanilang bill. Napakalaking kabalintunaan na sila ay internet provider pero hindi magamit ang teknolohiyang iyan upang magkaroon ng online payment sa kanilang serbisyo. Magbabayad na lamang ang mga consumers nila ay pinapahirapan pa. Napakahaba ng pila at siksikan na sila dahil napakaliit ng lugar para sa paghihintay na violate ang ating social distancing at napakahabang oras ang nasasayang ng mga consumers nila mismo para lamang makabayad sa serbisyong kanilang ibinibigay. So maaari po bang sama natin sa ating paksang tatalakayin sa susunod na pulong ang imbitasyon, ang pagpahayag nila sa atin upang sagutin ang issue na iyan at bahagi nila sa atin kung kailan sa kanilang plano magkakaroon ng online payment sa kanilang serbisyo. Ang ibang mga public utilities, Madam Chair, ay meron ng serbisyong ganyan, pero sabi ko nga, napakalaking kabalintunaan, no? Which is, sabihin po ay napaka-ironic na sila ay internet provider but they cannot use that technology upang magkaroon ng kaginhawahan ang kanilang mga consumers. So maaari po bang maisama natin sa ating
susunod
na pagpupulong?
Maraming salamat, Honorable Miles Sakit Arroyo.
Thank you.
Tagapangulo, meron pa pong kadagdagan. Item number 13 of the unfinished business is the committee report of the Committee of Transport.
Committee on Transport.
Next session item.
Next session yung kay Honorable Miles. So, agenda for today's session as amended is already approved. Next item ay acknowledging the presence of the Honorable Mary Kyle Francine Trepolca. Next item.
Order of business, special business order, the endorsement dated July 30, 2020. Endorsing for ratification the compromise agreement under special civil case number RTC 2020-0025 for expropriation between the city as petitioner and Ms. Felisa Baldomino, represented by Jerry Encarnacion, as respondent with respect to the payment of just compensation for the subject property of the latter duly intended for socialized housing project of the city.
Honorable Marcia Arroyo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ang property na ito ay subject of expropriation filed by the city government upang gamitin ang lupa for socialized housing. Ang offer po ng landowner dito ay 800 per square meter, pero ang counter offer ng city ay 430 per square meter. Kaya nag-file po tayo ng expropriation proceeding para sa property. During the mediation, nagkaroon ng pagkakasundo na mag-enter into compromise agreement, tinanggap ng landowner ang 430 per square meter dahil pag socialized housing, pwede naman palang mag-apply for exemption from capital gains tax. So, based on that, nagkasundo ang representante ng city government at ang representante ng landowner. So, presented for ratification by the Sanggunian so that it can be submitted to the court for approval by the court is this compromise agreement. May I move for ratification, Madam Chair?
Any second? Okay, approved. Next item.
The letter dated July 30, 2020 of the Honorable City Mayor requesting for authority to negotiate with Mr. Antonio Mirillas Jr., a landowner in Yabo, Carolina, to acquire 10,000 square meter portion of his property which shall be used as site of Yabo Elementary School.
Honorable Jose Lito del Rosario.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Good morning.
I move that we grant authority to the City Mayor to negotiate with Mr. Antonio Mirillas, landowner in Yabu, to acquire Yabu, Carolina, to acquire 10,000 square meter portion of his property which will be used as site of the Yabu Elementary School in Naga City. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second? Okay, approved. Next item.
The letter dated July 29, 2020 from the city engineer forwarding the draft memorandum of agreement between the city and MNWD on the proposed turnover and interconnection activity of water line extension at Palmera Village 2 resettlement site in Salungigi, Cararayan.
May we refer this to the Committee on Housing? Refer to the Committee on Housing and Settlement. Next item.
The request of the Honorable Mila Iserica Arroyo to invite converts by
That
next
will
session.
be sa susunod na pagtatalakay. Next item.
Unfinished business, the letter dated July 21, 2020, inviting into this regular session Dr. Mariano D. Guzman, Superintendent, Division of City Schools, Department of Education, as resource person relative to the preparations of DepEd for this coming opening of classes.
Rules is suspended. Okay, Honorable Lito del Rosario.
Madam Chair, we would like to extend thanks to DepEd Naga, the group of Sir Manny D. Guzman. They're in full force today, granting our request for a briefing. Matandanta, Madam Chair, more than a month ago, we requested them to provide us also a background there on how they will go about yung learning ko niyan because of the COVID-19. What we are particularly concerned, Madam Chair, is yung conduct of the dry runs, which I think will be part of their report. So, Madam Chair, this juncture, I'd like to invite the DepEd. I think we just give them more or less mga 20 minutes for the presentation of the salient points, the preparation for the 2020 school year. That's pagbabago na mga 20 days from now, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario.
2021 school year.
Dr. Manny, are you going to brief us? Thank you for attending today's session.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. sa ating ginagalangang Vice Alcalde, Honorable Cecil Velos de Asis, at sa mga kagalang-galang na councilor ng LGU Naga. Unang-una sa lahat ay nagpapasalamat din kami sa DepEd dahil palagi kaming kasali sa plano at programa ng local government of Naga. In response to the invitation dated July 28, I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation for the information of the members of the Sanggunian as to the status of our preparation relative to the opening of classes for school year 2020-2021. There are about 7 or 8 items that we gave priority for purposes of our preparation. But these matters or our priorities are not limited to these matters that I am presenting. There are other small matters that are still part of the concerns and focus of our preparation for the opening of the school year 2020-2021. First item is on enrollment. So for our enrollment, for public schools, as of yesterday, we already have a total of 45,950 compared to last year's total enrollment of 49,299, and that is already 93%. As of now, enrollment is still going on, although there has been a deadline already for the enrollment, but as of now, we are still accepting late enrollees, considering that the classes has not yet begun, and we expect that we can still meet the target of 100%. For the private schools, we now have a total of 15,185 compared to last year's enrollment of 22,542. That is as of yesterday. So we have a 67% total enrollment for private school. So that covers already kinder up to grade 12. And getting the average of the total enrollment, we already have 85% enrollment both for public and private schools. It should be noted that the pronouncement of the Department of Education is that for this school year, we are targeting at least 80% of the enrollment based on last year's enrollment, considering nga itong COVID-19 pandemic. Next concern is about the physical facilities and learning environment. There has been physical adjustments in offices and facilities in the division and in the schools, repositioning the tables, the chairs, and putting the minimum health protocols, like the putting up of the footbath, the alcohol hand sanitizers, and also the use of face mask and other required gadgets. And there has been a budget realignment considering that these new items related to the medical protocols need to be provided for our personnel and also for the clients that are visiting our offices. So that is observance of basic health protocols. And we have conducted clustered orientation and psychological first aid training to all our personnel, both teaching and non-teaching. Next item is along instructional, supplementary, and support materials. uh, our education program supervisors and public schools district supervisors and selected teachers have participated in the preparation of self-learning modules. This is now the core learning resource that is being used by our teachers and also by our learners comes the opening of school year 2020 and 2021. Then provision of soft copies of self-learning modules for the first and second gradings. So the soft copies of these modules are already in the schools for first and second grading to all public elementary and secondary schools. Although there has been a pronouncement on the part of our regional director that these modules, when requested in writing by private schools, can also be given copies. Okay, there has already been a printing of the first modules in all learning areas and all grade levels by schools. So the printing started last week, and practically all of them have already printed the first modules. So mayroong ibang hindi pa natapos ngayon, but last week yung printing ng first modules na yun ang gagamitin nila para sa dry run. And some schools are already undergoing dry run. Dalawang schools last week, Naga City Science High School and Naga Central School 2. Yesterday, na-monitor ko yung Camarines Sur National High School, Panikwason Elementary School, Grandview Elementary School, and may iba pa I couldn't remember na. And some, ang dry run bukas, yung iba, most of them this week, at yung iba mayroon pang next week. There has been an assurance that this dry run will happen before the start of classes. Next. Printing of second modules through the school board's RISO machines. So kasabay na po ngayon na ongoing yung second modules kasi ang target po yung bawat module will be utilized for 1 week. Kaya yung first module gagamitin po yun na rin yung gagamitin sa dry run, pero selected classes or selected teachers lang yun. Yun na rin yung gagamitin sa first week. Kaya yung para sa second week, yun ang second modules. We have made arrangement already with the Naga City School Board na ongoing na rin yung pag-RISO ng second modules. Then, there has been a release of fund from DepEd Central Office amounting to 20 million plus for the reproduction of self-learning modules up to the second quarter. Nagkaroon na kami ng initial computation. In fact, for your information, kung talagang isi-xerox siya, hindi bababa po sa 3 million para lang sa first module for all schools. Public, elementary, up to secondary. So, kung ipapa-xerox. Kaya good na mayroon tayo sa next item, procurement of RISO and Xerox machines for schools. Then, mayroon pa tayong internet connectivity through the Naga City School Board. Ito po ay yung procurement ng RISO. Basta ano po siya, 14 po na RISO machine, saka yung remaining schools, Xerox machine ang ipoprocure. Yun po ay na-approve na sa local school board meeting. And mayroon pang internet connectivity which is now being arranged. Ito pong RISO and Xerox, ang bid opening daw ay sa August 10. And we expect na bago pa man maubos itong first and second modules, magiging ready na rin itong third module with being printed and produced through the use of this new RISO and Xerox machines. And at the same time, natatapos na rin kasi nasa procurement procedure na rin yung 20 million na yan para sa procurement of bond papers and ink na gagamitin. Ipapartner dyan sa RISO and Xerox machines for the production of the remaining modules for the first up to second quarter. Next po. next item is on distance learning delivery modalities. Previously po, itong mga nagdaang buwan, marami tayong naririnig na iba-ibang learning modalities. Pero the final decision will come from the schools themselves kung ano talagang learning modality ang ipapatupad sa eskwelahan. Of course, with the advice and technical assistance of people from the division office and regional office. So, 2 weeks ago, yung mga school heads nag-decide na po ng kanilang default on learning modality that they will apply in their respective schools. Lahat po ng schools, bali po 28 elementary schools, counted po dyan yung SPED Center saka Naga Central School to bilang isang school lang. Out of 28 schools sa elementary, yung pinili nilang learning modality, lahat sila nagpili ng modular approach or modular learning modality. May blending sila, pwedeng printed or pwedeng digital. And sa out of these 28, 7 of them have also chosen online learning. Ibig sabihin, may dagdag silang learning modality. So, pero nandiyan pa rin yung default nila sa modular. Sa secondary, 11 na yung secondary natin. That includes already the Santa Cruz and San Isidro High School. Lahat naman sila ay magpapatupad ng modular learning modality. And 4 of them will also, in addition to modular, will implement online modality. So yun po, basta nakapag-desisyon na po. Pero yung mga ibang bagay, kagaya ng radio-based instruction, saka TV-based instructions, under preparations pa po siya. Kasi hindi pa kasi complete yung mga learning episodes para sa radio-based and TV-based instructions. And hindi rin din pa po malinaw yung sistema ng contract between the division and the radio or TV stations. Kasi ang iniisip namin, if we will be using radio, halimbawa in our place, kailangan kasama na rin yung CAMSUR. Kasi abot din doon yung signal ng radyo. So pwedeng ang kontrata ay is already a collaboration between Naga City and CAMSUR para sa pakikipagkontrata sa television. And then when we go into contract with these radio and television stations, dapat may continuity siyempre ang paggamit ng oras. So kung hindi pa eksaktong ready yung lahat, kasi dapat bawat araw mayroong oras, mayroong learning episodes. Kung itong mga learning episodes hindi pa talaga kumpleto, so mahirap din na makikontrata tayo sa television saka sa radyo na hindi pa kumpletong ready sa mga learning episodes. But as of now, pwede na rin paminsan-minsan daw gamitin, siguro by way of the action on the part of the higher offices sa region saka sa central, pang supplementary po yung mga lessons sa radio and TV based. But we are projecting that by second grading, baka ma-integrate na namin fully ang paggamit ng radio, lalo na yung radio-based instruction. Pero nananatili po yung modular instruction. Kasi yun po ang pinakang doable na learning modality. Ready ang instructional materials, and then ready rin yung mga teachers, pati yung mga bata, inaasahan din na mga magiging ready rin sa ilalim ng modular instruction. And other than the decision of the school heads on the learning modalities, we already have a capacity building activity for teachers, including non-teaching personnel. We have an ongoing online training focused primarily on the different learning modalities, yung mga specifics noon, that will last for 12 days. Ngayong araw po, bali pang 8 day na po ng kanilang capacity building. And we have been receiving feedbacks from the field that they are learning substantially, and that as a result of what they are learning, they can already stand independently on the aspect of delivery of lessons sa bagong panahon. Ayan. Next. O yan, dry run at saka simulation, as I've mentioned already, itong dry run na binabanggit at simulation is focusing on how they will have to implement the different learning modalities in their respective schools. I gave the schools the freedom to implement as to the extent of coverage, kung ilang estudyante, kung ilang section, kung ilang teachers, kung ilang subjects, pero pwede ring lahat, depende sa kanilang magiging preparation. But what is important is that by way of this dry run or simulation, they will be able to gather significant experiences, particularly along challenges and difficulties that they will encounter, so that they will be able to suggest or create new styles or strategies when the start of classes comes on August 24, 2020. And there has been orientation already going on in some of the schools virtually, and some will just be giving orientation, and it is expected that orientation of all schools will be conducted before the start of classes. Next po. And then comes now the opening of Santa Cruz National High School and San Isidro National High School. The documents have been submitted already, the required documents, to the regional office on July 30. Na-submit po natin, and thank you very much po sa inyo for your approval to the execution, to the giving authority to our mayor to execute the deed of donation in favor of the Department of Education. We already provided personnel for these two schools, both with school heads, one with full-fledged principal, Santa Cruz National High School, and teacher in charge for San Isidro National High School, with 6 teachers in Santa Cruz National High School, 4 of whom have items and 2 are locally funded. And then for San Isidro National High School, we also provided 4 teachers, 1 with item and 3 locally funded. But these 3 locally funded will be replaced with teachers with items. Comes the issuance of the result of the ranking for our teachers. Kasi po yung usual na ranking natin sa teachers na dati ginaganap po from February to April, and dapat pag May mayroon na tayong appointment, hindi po magawa kasi hindi po natuloy yung pagbigay ng isa sa mga criteria para sa selection and evaluation of the applicants. Yun po ang pagbigay ng English Proficiency Test. And the latest information is that this English Proficiency Test will be given to our teachers on August 10. Kaya pag lumabas yung result niyan, i-consolidate pa po yung total result ng kanilang score. And then, pag na-finalize po yon, that will only be the time that I will be able to appoint our new teachers. Yung tatlo dyan, sa bagong teachers, ilalagay natin sa San Isidro National High School. So, emergency lang po yung tatlo sa San Isidro kasi hindi po maganda na nagbukas tayo ng school, walang teachers. And we were able to find remedy using our local school board fund for that matter. Then, additional allocation, alam na po ito ni Kagawad Abunal, ni Kagawad Tripolca. Na-approve na po ito sa local school board. Additional 3 million for Santa Cruz National High School and 2 million for San Isidro National High School there was already a resolution for that matter to be utilized for other needs of these schools, including the connection for water, electricity, and other needs like tables, chairs, so that the schools can fully operate as standalone schools in DepEd Naga City. Next item po. Ensuring coordinated implementation. So, we have crafted, katatapos lang po na-check ko na po kagabi, gawa po kami ng operational guidelines that gives details on how we actually implement the different learning modalities in DepEd Naga City. That covers all public and public schools, elementary and secondary in DepEd Naga City. And then that will become part of our topic for discussion in our next division Mancom teleconference. So we have the conduct of division, bali ano na po ito, future na po ito, part na ito ng hindi pa po ito ginagawa, itong number 2 and number 3. Kasi ito pong operational guidelines, magigi po siyang meet or main subject matter para sa plano naming gagawing orientation. Mga 5 days before the start of classes, magkaroon po kami ng radio-based and Facebook live orientation para sa lahat ng stakeholders, sa teachers, sa mga taga-schools, sa mga estudyante, mga parents, kung papaano po mangyayari itong operasyon ng mga eskwelahan sa ilalim ng mga bagong pamamaraan na tinatawag natin distance learning modality. And paplahinsahin po yan, mga preparation na yan through the Division Management Committee teleconference, which will be conducted on August 20, 2020. So, yun po ang mga plano. And then, next item po. Ayan. Hindi ko ito kinalimutan kasi last time when we presented ourselves about our plan, we were, the members of the Sanggunian were very much interested about our plan because according to their message is that they are looking for a way on how they can help us. So these are the things that we needed for your consideration. First is, of course, the turnover of Pacol Elementary School and Leon Mercado High School to their administrations and to the teachers, considering that the use of these schools as isolation areas for PUMs is extended, approved by the director, until August 31. So, ang ano lang namin is baka matulungan na sana hindi na talaga ma-extend. In fact, we were informed by our director kasi parang internal action na ito ni director. He was telling us that, for your information po, that the approval made by the national office is only up to July 31. And according to the director, maganda naman anya ang mga kasamahan natin sa mga LGUs, if ever anya they requested for an extension, sa atin-atin na lang that will be granted until August 31. Pero sagad na yon. According to him, he is even taking risk already about that approval. Next is groups. We need groups or organizations who can assist along delivery and collection of the modules and funds for this purpose. Walang fund na ibinigay po ang DepEd para dyan sa delivery. Ang advice na lang is maybe we can connect with organizations or individuals na pwedeng tumulong sa atin along delivery. Kasi yung initial pronouncement ng secretary natin, yung mga modules dadalahin sa bahay. Pero ngayon, based sa pag-aaral, medyo mahirap din na dalhin sa bahay yung modules. Imagine, may 20 kang estudyante, teacher ka, 20 harong ang dudumanan mo. Garo masakiton man siya. So it can be a strategic system na pwedeng may strategic location na lang sa barangay, halimbawa tindahan, and then also pwedeng mga drivers or mga association na pwedeng makatulong as pick-up point or delivery point, and yung mga magdi-deliver din, so kailangan natin ng ganoong mga grupo. Although Office of the Vice President has already started connecting me na mayroon silang plano na mag-put up ng barangay learning hubs na baka makatulong sa amin. We have started negotiation already, and baka makatulong daw sila dito sa about delivery and collection of the self-learning modules for our learners. Then, ito po, tama-tama, nabanggit niyo po kanina, ito rin po ang nabanggit kanina po ni Honorable Miles Arroyo, itong sa Converge. Ito po ang medyo problema namin ngayon. It is publicly known na hindi okay yung serbisyo ng ating mga telephone companies or telecommunications companies. Ito pong kasi kung mag-online talaga tayo, dapat okay ang serbisyo. So hindi po stable. So yun pong instability, we believe on the part of the DepEd, we believe that our counterpart LGU can help us, considering na if they are giving services, say for instance in Naga City, they also have their office in Naga City, and their license, their authority to operate is being granted by the local government unit. So ibig sabihin, tinitingnan po namin na may authority ang LGU para mas ma-regulate ito. Kasama na po dito na gusto ko pong ipaabot sa inyo, itong tungkol sa internet connectivity na ongoing na rin ang procurement ngayon through the school board, na sana po, kasi it is even my personal experience na paapat na beses na ako nakapagpakabit ng internet. Bawat kausap ko, talagang maganda yung usapan namin. Pero within 1 week, napakaganda. After 1 week or 2 weeks, hindi na maganda ang serbisyo. So kaya until such time na mayroon na naman kang makausap na magbibigay ng services, pero ganun pa rin. So up to the 4th time na ako ngayon, pero ganun pa rin, hindi stable ang services. Okay, so and the last one po is fund for airtime services of radio station for radio-based instruction. So future pa po ito, ang target po namin dito, kapag natapos na po itong mga learning episodes, yung mga ginawang script na naka-anchor din doon sa module, baka second grading po, magkaroon na tayo ng regular radio-based instruction. So, although kasama po doon sa fund na, yung remaining fund kasi ng SEF, in our decision, pinag-prioritize namin yun sa 3 items. First item ay yung reproduction ng risograph machine saka Xerox copier, dahil nga yung default ng halos lahat ng na schools ay para doon sa modular instruction. So marami tayong ipiprint. So makakatulong po yung mga bagay na yun. Riso and Xerox copier. And then number 2 po ay tungkol na po dito sa mga connectivity. So pinag-aralan na po yung mga sitwasyon ng schools, yung iba po dadagdagan ng connectivity, yung iba po i-upgrade ang kanilang connectivity sa internet. Ayan. And then pangatlo po, ito pong airtime services, costing po ng airtime services sa mga radio stations. So iyan pong tatlo ang binigyan ng focus, pero palagi namang kulang yun eh. So hindi ko alam kung on how we can still extend help by way of the sangguniang panglungsod. So iyan na po ang presentation ko. I have with me po, may I introduce po to you my people from our DepEd Naga, supervisors who are experts along special matters that you may ask after my presentation. Sila po yung mga supervisors namin. May mga tanong kayo tungkol sa modular, sa online learning, and other details on the implementation of our distance learning modalities. Nandito po sila. Yung iba po nasa labas pa nga kasi limited lang daw po ang dapat nasa loob. Pasensya na kayo because you invited me alone, but I deemed it proper. Baka may hindi ako masagot, kaya po isinama ko sila. May I introduce po Chief Sheila Laguda of the Curriculum Implementation Division.
Okay. Thank you.
Nandito po si Dr. Annalisa Abulok, ang supervisor namin sa Filipino. Master po siya sa radio-based instruction. Ito po si Ma'am Ami Silerio, our supervisor in charge of kindergarten, and also can answer questions along online learning, and also along delivery of lessons from kinder to grade 3. And Dr. Mary Ann Papica, our supervisor in District 6, Public Schools District Supervisor, who can answer on questions on blended learning. And Dr. Ed Laureles, our Education Program Supervisors in charge of SPED, can answer questions along SPED. And we have Ma'am Ying Lorcha, Education Program Supervisor in Science, and can answer questions along modular learning delivery modality. And then meron pa tayo po sa labas na pwedeng magpaliwanag tungkol sa home-based instruction, and also yung tungkol sa ALS. Mayroon din tayong tao dyan na pwedeng sumagot sa inyong mga tanong. So with that po, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present to you so that we can always be connected to each other for the betterment of the Nagueños. Thank you po.
Thank you, Dr. Manny. Okay, Honorable Del Rosario.
Salamat, Sir Manny. Few concerns before I turn over the microphone to other members of the Sangguniang Palansod. Sir Manny, for reference lang, probably you can take note of our Ordinance 2020-046, authored by Councilor Arroyo, about yung health protocol sa mga bata para ma-incorporate natin sa mga learning modules na pamimigay sa mga bata natin dito sa Naga City. Number 2, we are glad that you already started with the dry runs for Naga City Science High School and Central 2 and Grandview and Panikwason. We want to know if kailan ang ultimong tapos ng dry run, and I'd like to ask yung in charge ng sa operations ng DepEd Naga kung ano ang nasa loob ng dry run, anong ginagawa nila nasa loob ng dry run. And to answer yung item 2 diyan sa assistance needed on the groups and organization who can assist along delivery and collection of SLEs, probably you can tap the Queen group in Naga City, very strong and Queen group natin, to assist you and to answer your question yun sa number 2. And lastly, Sir Manny, we are glad that out of the 28 schools, elementary schools, they will all perform modular, and 7 volunteered to go on blended learning. And on high school, 11 will go on modular, and 4 volunteered to also go on blended learning. So that means internet connectivity. This will need a very thorough dry run at hindi ito basta-basta pwedeng ika-perform ng mga bata. So, I'd like to ask Madam Chair, yung in charge ng operations ng DepEd Naga, kung ano yung nasa loob ng dry run na ginagawa na. From this end, Madam Chair, before I turn the microphone to other members of the Sangguniang Palansod, I would like to extend congratulations to DepEd for this comprehensive presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. Honorable Marcia Quidaroyo.
Madam City Government of Naga, alam naman po ninyo na ang suporta ay nandyan. Kung ano po yung kayang gawin ng City Government, lagi naman po namin pinagkakaisahan kung ano po ang maaari naming magawa. May mga questions lamang po ako, subalit Sa tingin ko yung questions po ay masasagutan po yata ninyo yon pag meron na kayo ng operational guidelines. So may I know kung meron na po yun? Or you are still in the process of formulating it? Kasi yung operational guidelines will answer what will actually happen. Kasi ito pong nakita natin are the preparations being made, but once the system is in place, what will actually happen? Like, kung may mga modules, paano yun makukuha ng mga bata? Like, katulad kanina, kailangan ng assistance sa pag-deliver and pag-collect ng mga SLMs. Nakalagay po yun dapat sa operational guidelines, pero nagawa na po ba yun? Kasi kung meron na, baka mabigyan tayo ng kopya para tayo mismo aaralin natin yung operational guidelines so that pag may mga parents na nagtatanong, pwede rin po tayong makasagot, Madam Chair. Formulated na po ba yung operational guidelines?
Yes po. Actually, it was submitted to me yesterday and kagabi, ay nabot nga ako alas 12, pinag-finally edit ko po yun. And I told the group who crafted these guidelines na para sa akin, okay na yun.
Okay.
So,
crafted
pag
na po
nagkataon,
siya-
ilalabas namin yun ngayon for the information, guidance, and compliance of those schools.
Okay. So, magandang balita po iyon. Kung crafted na po siya, dapat may sagot na tayo doon sa question kung paano i-distribute, ipamamahagi, at paano kukolektahin ang mga SLM.
Oh, actually, ang nailagay po doon, may mga options pa rin. So, pagdating sa talagang specifics, sa school na rin.
Depende na po sa
Based,
school.
based po sa plano namin, may mga specific designs po sila na gagawin on their implementation of this dry run.
Okay.
Ngayon, ang usapan namin, after the dry run, magkakaroon uli kami kasi nagkakaroon kami ng sharing session
Para mas
sa mga
ma-improve pa.
school heads based sa ilang mga experiences.
Okay.
Ngayon, diyan po sa experiences nila na yan, bago pa mangyari itong general orientation, magkaroon uli kami ng sharing session. Then I will assign mga 4 schools na mag-present. Then out of that, lalabas po yung mga specific concerns. And we can still integrate all those additional items dito sa aming operational guidelines.
Okay.
Para mas maging okay siya.
Okay. Sige po. So in other, magkakaroon po tayo ng dry run, implementing the, going through the process, using your operational guidelines, and then kung ano pa yung mga kailangang improvement na magawa based sa dry run, ay i-integrate po
Yes
sa
po,
operational
yes po,
guidelines. Yes, thank you. So therefore, we will be looking forward to being furnished a copy of that operational
Yes po.
guidelines.
Pag na-finalize, ang plano po is in time for the opening of classes.
Okay, which is
Doon
on,
namin bibigyan ng finality itong guidelines.
okay,
Kasi
which is on kailan po yung opening? August 24?
August 24 po.
24.
August 24. Ngayon
po.
po, bali ang plano niyan is initial subject to remarks, improvement, suggestions ng mga nasa field. Kasi kapag hindi natin ibinigay sa field, hindi naman natin matetest kung okay yan.
Yes.
Kaya para sa akin, open pa rin yan for improvement. And then, sabi ko nga, during that general orientation na sabi ko gagamit kami ng radyo, we will open ourselves for questioning from the public para sabi ko nga, yung questions nila, siguradong hindi pa yun naisaad doon sa guidelines.
Okay.
Kaya, dahil mahalaga yon sigurado, kaya nga nagtanong, mailalagay pa natin. Kaya, mayroon pang mga tatlo or 4 na araw pa yan bago sa opening of classes. Kaya sabi ko, in time for the opening of classes, we can still polish that copy of our operational guidelines.
Okay.
Okay,
So
thank you.
August 24 is 21 days? 21 days away.
Monday.
Yes, August 24. 20 because today is the 4th. So that's barely 20 days away. So baka po pwedeng makita na ng public yung ating operational guidelines para makapag-feedback na rin po sila. Kasi
Opo,
ang
opo.
final say naman po nasa DepEd really as to how it's going
Kaya
to be.
nga ngayon po, ang plano ko is today, gusto ko nang ilabas sa field para makuha ko na yung remarks. We can still modify it or amend it.
Yes, so we
Opo.
also expect to be
Basta
given
pag
a
final na
copy.
po, saka namin ibigay sa inyo.
Pwede po bang pag hindi pa final?
Ano po?
Pwede pong kahit hindi pa final?
Pwede.
If our inputs would be also
sige po,
important to
sige
you?
po, I'll give you po a copy.
Yes. Yes, thank you
Ah,
because we are also parents who
opo,
have
opo.
children
Sige
to
po.
be under this particular
Yes po,
system that
opo.
we are all
Opo.
experimenting
Saan
for
ko
the
po
first
ibigay?
time.
Dito na lang po kay sa ano?
Kahit po
Sa secretariat
sanggunian po
natin.
Sanggunian na lang po.
Sanggunian.
And then we will furnish the members na lang po.
Yes po, oo.
Okay.
Soft
Um,
copy lang po, dito na lang i-print.
Opo.
Sige po, oo.
Pangalawang question ko, Madam Chair, available po ba yung mga learning modules in e-copy? Para
Opo.
hindi tayo mahirapan
Yes, ma'am.
magpa-reproduce.
Yes po.
May mga parents naman na pwedeng
Opo.
sila na mismo
Available po
mag-reproduce
siya
and they
ang
can get
e-copy.
it in e-copy. Okay? Maraming salamat. I'm kindly really worried about how the grade 1 and 2, yung pong hindi pa nakakabasa, would really be able to successfully learn. Paano po yung hindi pa nakakabasa?
Oo.
What are we really going to do? I'm really afraid of that kasi meron po akong small children that I'm taking care
May I
of.
call Ma'am Ami Silerio to
Si Ma'am
Okay
give
po.
the detailed answer?
Ma'am Ami, as to the query of the Honorable Marcia Guedaroyo, when it comes to grade 1,
Good morning, everyone po. I'm handling kinder until grade 3. Ang ginawa po namin, yung mga modules for them, addressed sa parents. So, we really need the help of the parents. Yung modules, they have learning tasks wherein merong mga choices, whether kung ang bata capable na ng magbasa, like grade 3 na sila, meron ng activity na sila na ang gagawa. But for kinder talagang, yung parent pa po talaga. So, one problem that we really would like to somehow help our parents on how to do it. So, one of which is, yung iba pong mga modules, ginawa namin ng yung, di ba lahat ng mga bata na ngayon almost gusto na nila ng nasa ICT. So, meron pong ginawang mga videos na pwedeng gawin yon or gamitin ng parents. So, when parents get the modules, pwedeng meron na silang USB or i-present or i-send nung teacher doon sa parents in terms of yung sa messenger. Kasi po, we are banking on yung connectivity na sana meron na yung kanilang mga materials can be sent through messenger. So thank you, Ma'am Kagawad Mila Rakid, for your concern na yung connectivity sana natin is maging stronger. And also for Sanggunian to be able to help us na yung connectivity talaga sa mga schools, lalo na yung Panikwason area, kailangan po talaga nila. So we need your help po. So what will be done is doon mismo sa houses ng mga bata, yung parent or your guardian, meron silang technical assistance din na makukuha sa teachers. So yung teacher, they will always be standing by. Kung sakaling merong concern yung mama or papa, pwede silang mag-text or mag-call doon sa mga teachers para matulungan po sila. So according to the DepEd, shall we say, issuance, according to availability of funds, teachers will also be given some sort of yung bang for their load. So, siguro instead na gagamitin nila kung saan na instructional materials, gagamitin na nila yon sa load nila sa kanilang, cellphone loads po. That's all
okay,
po.
follow-up question, Honorable Marcia Guedaroyo.
Talagang napakalaking challenge po ito for grades 1 and 2. Kasi alam naman po natin na yung sa kinder, after kinder, hindi pa rin tayo siguradong talagang nakakabasa na yung bata. So even in grade 1 and kinder, yung pagturo ng pagbasa. So,
Parents.
paano po yung mga parents na hindi rin marunong magbasa?
Okay.
To
During
help their children.
Opo. Meron po talaga kami niyan. And one teacher even said, Ma'am, face-to-face na nga kaming nag-uusap, hindi pa naiintindihan ng parents. So yung sabi po ni SDS namin that we will be asking for the help of even our community wherein kung pwede merong tinatawag na para-teachers. Ito pong para-teachers may be pwedeng retired teachers, pwedeng volunteers, pwede rin yung mga bagong graduates from our institutions, college institutions na let's say wala pa silang license, they can help the public schools as well as yung siguro 3rd or 4th year na sa teacher education na yung kanilang tinatawag na yung how do you call that? Practice teaching. Thank you, Sir Abunal. Yung practice teachers nila, they will be helping yung teacher na pag-coordinate doon sa mga parents. Okay, we talk about health protocols also kasi let's say kailangan talaga ng bata na pupunta yung teacher or your para-teacher doon sa bahay nila, yun ang isa pang i-resolve. So, we're thinking nga na with our CID chief, na ipa-plot din namin kung sino sa mga barangay ang meron doon ng mga retired teachers or yung pwedeng para-teacher, then we will ask for their help. Ang maganda po doon is, alam nila, more or less, kung doon sa place na yun is safe enough na yung para-teachers pwedeng pumunta doon sa bahay na kinakailangan talaga ng help.
Okay, sige po. So talagang maraming kailangan po tayong immobilize na community support sa aspect na yan. So maaari po siguro mobilize din yung retired teachers like you said. Ang problema po mga karamihan yan, senior citizens.
Yes.
No? Hindi po sila pwedeng
Yes.
labas ng labas.
Yes.
So meron po tayong barangay literacy volunteer. Meron po tayo
Yeah,
niyan, I
worker.
believe, yung barangay
Barangay
literacy volunteer.
literacy
So baka
worker.
mobilize po for those who cannot read yet. Kasi yung po nag-worry talaga ako, kung modular po, kailangan marunong magbasa. So kung tutulungan ng parent para makabasa, kung parent hindi marunong magbasa, napakalaking problema talaga. So we would like to hear more of the details on that. Doon po particular sa kinder grades 1 and 2. Yung po kung paano po talaga natin gagawin. So thank you, Madam Chair. I have other questions, but I think the only one that's really also disturbing me is yung sinabi po kanina na ang target ay na enrollment is only 80%. So parang yung 20% ay kinoconsider na lang ba nating parang casualty of war, of our casualty of war against COVID? Ano po yung plano natin for the 20? Para sa part po ng LGU, mayroon din tayong magawa. Kasi we cannot just leave them like...
Siguro ma'am, I can correct my statement. Ang point lang is minimum expectation of DepEd na 80%. Kasi nga dahil sa pandemic. So
that's
of
the
course
minimum.
we are still gearing towards that target
100.
to attain the 100%.
Okay,
So yun
minimum
yun lang ang point doon kasi parang tinarget lang yun na minimum kung in
Okay.
kaso maging mabigat kasi we are faced with uncertainties this time.
Yes.
Kaya baka at least anya kung medyo malala at least makakuha tayo ng 80%. That is already something.
Okay.
Thank
you,
So,
ma'am.
it's understood that it's minimum. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Mania. I think, Honorable Baldemoro, you were raising your hand before. Honorable Baldemoro and then Honorable Perez.
Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat po kay Ginoong Manny D. Guzman at pagpupugay po sa kagawaran ng edukasyon para po sa kanilang mga ginagawa para sa mga bata. Ang tanong ko po ay nabanggit kanina na ang city government ang nag-provide ng internet connectivity. Lahat na po ba ng paaralan ay nakabitan na? At ano po yung internet provider?
Pasensya na po, medyo wala akong dalang record. Mayroon akong record niyan, kaya lang hindi ko po dala ngayon. Ang ginawa po namin, kasi substantial number of our schools have already this internet connectivity. Pero yung iba, siguro bilang lang po sa daliri na ang school na walang connectivity, practically lahat. Kaya lang yung connectivity ng iba hindi para-parehas. Ang medyo may mataas lang na nasa 500 ano ba yon, Mbps ba yon, yung Camarines Sur National High School saka Naga City Science High School. Karamihan 5 Mbps yung karamihan.
Ano po
Mayroon
yung-
ding 10 Mbps. Opo.
Yung internet provider, Madam Chair, ano po yung...
Ang ano po ngayon na pinag-arrange namin with the help of our ITO from the city government, tumulong po para mag-assess doon sa mga schools. And then nag-come up na po sila ng arrangement kung anong school ang dapat dagdagan
Ano
ng
pong
connection.
Hindi po,
provider?
yung internet provider po.
Internet provider.
Hindi ko po maano kasi hindi ba ika-canvas pa yata 'yun eh. Basta po nag-go na po kami sa part ng DepEd na through the city back procurement can already proceed. Yung specifications po, ibinigay na namin.
So, sa ngunyan,
Ang ano po
wala
namin, ang sabi namin na at least 100 Mbps ang pinakababa bawat school.
So sa ngayon,
ngayon wala pa.
Tagapangulo, wala pa pong internet provider.
Ang mga school, ano pa lang,
Para
high
doon sa
school,
additional. Basta po mayroon na ngayon yung mga schools, mayroon ng internet
Madam
provider.
Chair, kung hihingi ng additional, may dati na yon. So most likely, yung additional,
Tama po,
it's
tama.
the same provider.
Mayroon na po.
Kaya ko po natanong kasi isa sa mga hinihingi yung LGU representation to telcos. So paano tayo makakatulong kung hindi nga natin alam kung ano
Ano
yung
yung
mga
service provider?
telcos na kakausapin.
Okay. Magbibigay po kami ng record. Ano
Okay.
po?
Maraming salamat po.
Oo.
Okay, salamat po.
Kadagdagan, Madam Chair, yun po bang nabanggit nyo na SLM, yun na po ba yung platform na gagamitin?
Ano po, sir?
Yung nabanggit yung SLM, yung learning modalities, yun na po ba yung platform na gagamitin for virtual learning?
Ang ibig ko pong sabihin, lahat ng schools gagamit po ng SLMs. Yan po ang main source. Iyan po, nakabatay doon sa tinawag nating MELC. Ang MELC is Most Essential Learning Competencies. Ang DepEd po, mayroong umaabot sa more than 50,000 na mga learning competencies from kinder to grade 12. Pinili po doon yung mga pinakang essential at umabot na lamang siya sa 6,000 plus just for the sake of the implementation of our educational programs para sa panahon ng pandemic. Ngayon, out of that MELC or Most Essential Learning Competencies, gumawa po ang ating mga experts sa DepEd ng self-learning modules. Kaya ito pong self-learning modules, kumbaga, complete set na po siya, package po siyang lesson na which can be studied independently, lalo kung ang bata ay marunong bumasa. And then, mayroon din pang ibang mga resource materials na available at pwedeng gamitin ang bata. Kaya, yung mga dating libro na ibinibigay sa kanila, bibigyan pa rin sila ng mga libro, textbook, bilang additional reference materials. At saka, yung mga mag-online, pwede rin doon sa open educational resources, sa DepEd Commons, pwede po sila mag-research doon.
Kadagdagan, Madam Chair, paano po ba may adapt yung inclusive education in the new normal setting?
Nandyan pa rin po ang ating inclusive education, considering na number one, nandyan pa rin yung ALS natin, hindi pa rin nawawala. Part yan ng inclusivity natin. Nandyan pa rin yung SPED program natin, hindi rin nawala. Nandyan po si Sir Ed kung medyo may tanong tungkol sa
Sige po, ituloy ko
bagay
po.
niya.
Ano po yung learning modalities for the SPED class?
Sir Ed, can you please share? Si Sir Ed po ang supervisor natin in charge of special education.
Sir Ed?
Magandang umaga po. Yung pong i-adapt po ng special education, yung pong modular, pero gaya po nung nabanggit kanina sa SPED, kailangan po talaga may nagtuturo kasi yun ang face-to-face na regular na ginagawa, nahirapan na. Kaya modular po, pero yung magulang o kung sino yung guardian, kailangan po. Sa bagay po yung experience namin in the past, talaga pong ang mga magulang po at guardian ng mga children with special educational needs ay naka-hands-on talaga sila. They give time. So, kung sa ginagawa na pong iyan, ginagawa na po yan namin in the past. Kaya medyo itong nitong new normal ay hindi kami masyadong nahirapan kasi may individualized educational plan po kami yung sinasabi nilang milk, ginagawa na po namin yan noon, ina-identify namin yan through modification and accommodation. Na-identify na po kung alin lang yung mga essentials na dapat ituro sa bata based on the assessment na ginawa namin individually sa bata. Kaya yung pong ituturo namin sa bata ay ibinasi namin sa assessment individually. Kaya individual po yung individualized education plan.
Maraming salamat po.
Okay, Honorable Perez, and then Honorable Abonal.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. At marami ring salamat kay Superintendent de Guzman at sa kanyang mga kasamahan sa kagawaran ng edukasyon. Ngayon, alam natin na ito ay temporary lamang. Nandito tayo ngayon dahil sa COVID at we pray na hindi magtatagal ang COVID. Although medyo matagal na nga, we hope na hindi pa masyadong tumagal at tayong lahat ay bumalik sa normal na sitwasyon. Be that as it may, nagagala kami at nagkaroon na kayo ng dry run and malaking preparasyon para sa pagdating po ng August 24. Doon po sa dry run, may mga nakikita po ba kayong as early as today na mga weak points o yung mga trouble areas at sa inyo na po nakita yung mga dapat na gagawin? Kasi dapat ngayon pa lang ay nakikita na natin yung mga weak points natin so that talagang masasabi natin if we already have addressed or witnessed such weaknesses, nakakasiguro tayo, mas malaki ang chance natin na magiging successful ang gagawin natin pagbukas ng klase. Pangalawa, paano ba malaman yung competencies ng mga estudyante natin with this setup? Lalo na itong modular at distance learning. Ano ba ang kapalit ng mga examinations, yung test sa mga estudyante? At para malaman din natin kung how the students respond to the system that we have adopted. Lalo na po ngayon dahil nasa bahay sila, of course, nandoon yung pagtutulong personal ng mga magulang in such a way na hindi natin masyadong ma-evaluate on a personal basis yung kakayahan ng estudyante. And magkakaroon ba kayo ng mga house visits? Yung mga faculty members, mga teachers, pupunta ba kayo sa mga bahay-bahay? Lalo na't hindi talaga kayo magkikita-kita on a regular basis. Pupunta kayo doon para alamin kung hanggang sa ano yung natutunan ng mga estudyante. Pangalawa, pangtatlo, of course, maraming mga classroom ang mababakante. Kung may good news man, ngayon lang tayo siguro sa istorya ng edukasyon sa Pilipinas, ngayon lang tayo magkakaroon ay makapagsasabi na walang classroom shortage nationwide. No? May plano ba kayong gawin doon sa mga mababakanting mga edifisyo, mga classrooms, so that they can be useful kahit na ganoon ang sitwasyon natin? Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Sino po ang pwedeng makasagot sa tatlong questions ni Honorable Perez? First, loopholes.
Actually po, 4 ang nailista kong tanong ni Kagawad.
4. Ako 3 din.
Ang una po, kung mayroon na kaming mga naunang na-identify na mga difficulties o kahirapan sa pagsasagawa ng dry run. Actually po, mayroon ng 2 mahalagang bagay na nabanggit sa akin. Kasi I tried to visit also and ask questions to the concerned principals about the conduct of the dry run. Una po, yun talagang delivery. Yung delivery ang medyo magkakaroon ng kabigatan. Kasi siyempre, kung ang pinakang list kaya na pwedeng gawin is ang pick-up point saka delivery point sa school pa rin. Yun ang pinakang list. At ang magbabiyahe, yung magulang. Hindi naman yung bata. Ayan. So, kaya along delivery. Kasi ang pinakang ideal po na plano, yung modules dalhin doon sa bahay ng bata. Ang ikalawa na pwedeng magaan-gaan, dalhin sa barangay, mayroong mga pick-up point, lalo kung malayo sa school ang estudyante. So, sa case nga ng Camarines Sur National High School, ang iba niyan, mga taga-ibang banwaan kang probinsya. So, medyo mahirap din yon. Kaya, base sa sinasabi ni principal, yung iba ini-encourage na baka pwedeng doon na muna mag-enroll for this time sa municipality kung saan sila nakatira. Para yung module, madali na nilang pick upin doon sa lugar na yon. Or, pwede rin makipag-arrange yung organization doon or LGU doon na doon ang dala ng modules. Or, yun na, sabi ko, the list talaga na pwedeng magawa ang pick up and delivery point sa school pa rin. Ang pangalawa po na nakikita ng difficulty is yung continuous production of itong modules. Kasi napakalaki po talaga. Yung Kamhay lang nga na may population na 12,000, nag-try akong mag-compute na kung ipapa-Xerox. Sa Xerox yung computation ko. Kwinenta ko.
So, bali, dalawa po ang nakikita mong difficulty.
Ang pangalawa, yun ang yung tungkol sa production.
Production of modules.
Oo.
So, ano
So,
pa po?
Talagang ang ibig sabihin, halos daily sila ng production
Okay.
para mahabol nila yung kailangan nilang modules. So, yun po ang unang nakikita. Pero po, magkakaroon kami ng sharing session. Mas makukuha ko po ang detalye. Baka po mga 3rd week of August, you can still invite me. Pangalawa po doon sa sinabi ni Kagawad na about
Competency.
the assessment o yung mga exams, paano yung gagawin.
Yung kakayahan.
Magkakaroon pa rin po yan ng mga periodic exams. Kaya lang, yun na nga, supervised siyempre ng magulang. Sa bahay po gagawin. Tsaka, ang magkakaroon po niya ng mas maraming basis para sa pagsukat ng kanilang natutunan ay yung mga tinatawag pong performance task. So, mayroon silang gagawin. Although yung kanilang mga written output has to be treated also as performance tasks. Mayroon ding tanong na, paano pala? Siyempre, tuturuan niya ng magulang o kasama sa bahay. Possible po. Pero ang maganda po niyan, kasi dahil naturuan po siya, di nalaman niya na ang sagot. Kung nandun siya sa school, walang tuturo sa kanya, hindi niya makukuha ang sagot. Pero kung nandun siya sa bahay, tinuruan siya ng kanyang magulang, naging tama yung sagot niya. Pero natutunan niya kung ano ang tamang sagot. So, basta po ang point is, kahit pa paano, mayroong level of learning sa bata sa panahon na nandun siya sa bahay. Pangatlo po na concern, yung tungkol po sa kung magbibisit po ba. Ang default po, siyempre, walang visit kasi dapat walang face-to-face. Unless very necessary and subject to the observance of the basic health protocols, yung social distancing, yung paggamit ng face mask, siguro po pwede naman siya. And then, hindi rin natin alam kasi as of this time, uncertain pa rin kung kailan mawawala itong problema natin sa COVID-19. So, ang pinagsisikapan natin ngayon, kung habang nahihirapan ang gobyerno na mapuksa itong COVID, kailangan din wag tayong magpapuksa sa COVID at matuto tayong mabuhay habang nandyan din ang COVID. Pang-apat po, yung tungkol sa classroom, yung usefulness ng classroom. Isa po sa nakikita dyan sa mga classrooms. This can still serve as a pick-up point and distribution centers. Kasi kung focus lang sa isang lugar o kaunting lugar ang distribution or retrieval ng mga modules, magkakaroon pa rin ng crowding. Yun nga nakita ko sa Camarines Sur National High School. Kaya sabi ko, baka maging classroom-based pa rin yung delivery point then pick a point ng mga modules. Medyo mabagat po sa parte ng magulang, pero po, yun din ang sinasabi namin na marami ring mga good points ang epekto nitong COVID sa proseso ng ating edukasyon. Sabi ko nga, number one, yung bata hindi na magbabiyahe, wala na siyang transportation, yung travel time niya mawawala na, araw at saka umaga at saka hapon. Yung magulang pupunta na lang weekly. So once a week lang para ibigay yung output doon sa module at kunin ang bagong module. Then makakatipid na rin sa paggamit ng mga damit at saka paglaba, yung mga sabon, pati yung sapatos kasi kung nandun ka sa bahay, pwedeng pambahay lang yung gamit mo. And then, that can be a continuation of bonding time between the children and the parents. Sabi ko nga, itong proseso ngayon na 24 hours a day yung bata at saka magulang magkasama, baka po mas mahubog ang mga magagandang ugali ng ating mga kabataan na dati kasi ang problema natin, kung pumupunta sa school, ang akala ng magulang nasa school, pero wala sa school. Ang akala naman ng school nasa bahay. O yung pala nagtambay, nakibarkada. Ngayon, dahil sa ganitong proseso natin, walang barkada. So this can be an advantage of the situation.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Manny.
Thank you
Thank you, Councilor Joe, for that question. That's the importance of conducting dry runs. So we will need inputs, Sir Manny, as to the progress of the dry runs being conducted. Next questions will be coming from Councilors Abunal, Del Castillo, and Albius in that order. What's that privilege motion, sir? We call for a break. Okay, anyway, Councilor Body, baka few questions sama lang from the three of you. Sir Greg, how many minutes? How many questions?
Lang.
3 minutes.
Ang answer baka mga 30 minutes.
Councilor Badi, can we reconsider the privilege motion? Sige. Sige, in the interest of maximize naman lang, baka may mga dumana pa sila. Sir Greg, please proceed. Thank you, Councilor Badi.
3 items, Mr. Chair. Ang first concern ko po, yung missing students kumbaga sa government schools, it appears na you are missing something like mga 4,000 students. Okay? Pero yung private schools, we're missing something like 33%. Okay lang po, kuta na kung yung 33% from the private schools naglaog sa public schools. Given the data, my conclusion is there are many students who are not enrolled. Okay. May we therefore ask, even recommend, number one, for measures to be taken either by DepEd, sana makatabang po ang mga barangay to trace which school-age children have not yet been enrolled. Secondly, sana yung DepEd maka-contact sa neighboring towns ang status ng enrollment nila, particularly how many of formerly NAGA-enrolled students have already enrolled sa kanila. Dahil kung di man po naka-enroll sa kanila yung mga missing digdi sa tuya, talagang mga missing in action yan. I don't think we can afford non-enrollment of students. So with that, Mr. Chair, I would recommend na i-request ang barangay, especially yung mga literacy workers, kung pwedeng maka-trace sinda sa per barangay ng mga students I mean, young people of school age na are not currently enrolled. I think yung data, importanteng maray. We cannot be relying merely on non-enrollment. Secondly, Mr. Chair,
Third,
Um,
that's third.
second pa lang yan.
That's third already.
Ano sa second?
Sorry, that's second. I'm sorry.
Okay. Second, Mr. Chair, yung Office of the Vice President, may proposal po ng establishment of community learning hubs which should not be substitute for the formal educational centers. Yung pong sinasabi ni Ms. Hilario kanina, to recruit volunteers, especially yung mga magpa-practice teaching o yung mga nag-let na nag-antay ng results. I think malaking tulong yun sa mga community learning hubs. I understand na the proposal was sent to the division office some 3-4 weeks ago. Baka may action po kitang ma-adapt doon. And third, what happens kung yung parents who are supposed to pick up modules mag-absent? Ang estudyante kung nag-a-absent, nare-remedyohan na. Pero kung yung parent na ma-pick up ng modules on a weekly basis, mag-absent yan, 1 week lesson yan na mawawala. I think that's a minor thing, pero importanteng bagay na may provision po kita. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. As to the third item, probably the DepEd can just take note of the manifestation of Councilor Abunal. What is important is the first item, the request for the barangays to tap yung barangay literacy workers. Councilor Greg siguro can ask the barangay captains. We have the ABC president here. And yung volunteers under yung sa Office of the Vice President, Councilor Beltran. Probably we can highlight yung can we have the commitment of the Liga ng mga Barangay?
Maraming salamat po, kagalang-galang na Vice Alcalde Doc Lit del Rosario.
Bako, ano lang, temporary lang. Sige.
Yung tanong po ni Sir Greg Abunal, isa rin po yun sa katanungan ko kay Sir Manny de Guzman. Kasi po, ano po ang magiging partisipasyon ng barangay sa tinatawag po nating New Normal Education. Naalala ko po noon na nagpatawag po ng meeting sa amin si Sir Alferez. Hello. Para papag-usapan po namin yung mga problema ng estudyante. Yung mga hindi po pumapasok, gumawa po kami ng inobasyon kung paano po namin matutulungan ang estudyante at ang paaralan. Napupuntahan po yung bahay at magulang kakausapin kung bakit hindi pumapasok yung mga anak nila. And ano po yung kaukulan na tulong na maibibigay ng barangay para makapasok po yung mga estudyante. Ngayon po, parang nakikita ko po na mas lalong mahihirapan yung mga guro dahil po dito sa ano po natin, dito po sa self-learning modules na ito. Kasi po, mayroon po tayong literacy workers, sila po yung umiikot sa mga barangay. At yung isa po sa problemang inano ni Sir na Alferez, ay yung po kung paano po matutugunan ang mga pagkukulang nung estudyante at ng magulang. Kasi po yung sitwasyon pong tinutukoy doon ni Sir Alferez, kung ano po yung nakikita sa loob ng bahay, paglabas po sa bahay nila, dala-dala po nila yung sa school. Ngayon po nakikita ko na itong modular po na ito, parang mahirap po doon sa mga magulang na kulang po ang kanilang mga gamit para maibigay po sa kanilang mga anak.
Thank you, Councilor Beltran. Yes, Councilor Miles.
To dispose of the matter so as not to waste, to
Yeah.
use up so much time of our people from the DepEd, may I present certain motions to dispose first?
Yeah.
May I move that we invite, if not to task, I don't think we can task, invite the Liga ng mga Barangay and the Sangguniang Kabataan Federation of the city to take on the facilitation of the establishment of the community learning hub and report the matter to the Sanggunian on what the city government can actually do to make it happen. And will these two ligas represented in this August chamber really be willing to take on the task? Because I think it's very important, Mr. Chair.
When do we expect the report, Councilor Miles?
In the next session,
Next
at
session.
least the initial steps they have taken so that we can see how the city can facilitate the establishment of these community learning hubs. So that's the first motion. So may I have a ruling on the motion?
We request the ABC, headed by Punong Barangay Beltran, and the SK Federation, headed by City Councilor Mary Kyle Francine Tripulca, to present reports next session as regards the community learning hubs to be actively participated in by these two groups, which are very important in Naga City. Next session.
Yes. Second motion, Mr. Chair. Aside from Converge, may we also invite all the other telcos operating in the city to present to us how they plan to respond to this need of the community, the need for better connectivity, considering that their service will be crucial in the delivery of education in the city. So may we include all the other telcos in the invitation in the next session.
We direct the Secretary to write the other telcos concerned.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, and we reiterate our request that we be furnished copy of the initial operational guidelines